everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Tonight's matchup features two quarterbacks who will be trying to lead their team to victory. It's the Buccaneers going up against the Eagles. So with that, we'll send you up to the Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, as we hand it over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look live there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. Today, we've got a good NFC matchup on tap between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Ground, the first carry for Ryan Matthews. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result. Because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move to influence the defensive front to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and it'll bring up a fourth down. So on fourth down, here's the veteran left-footed punter Donnie Jones to kick it away. Fielded at about the 28. Call that a 46-yard punt with a net of 40 on the 6-yard return. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. They go play action here on first down. Out to his left. A dump off to Sims. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it a second down. The first carry now for Doug Martin. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. Give the tackle that time to Rodney McLeod. Defensive side of the ball for the Eagles. Here they are, the starting 11. And you were telling me before the game, taking this from your knowledge bank, that if they need to improve anywhere in 2017, maybe in the secondary. Is that right?
I think you're right on that one because I think they're very happy with Malcolm Jenkins and Rodney McLeod down the middle as the safeties. But they'd love to make an upgrade on the corner position because if you're playing in the NFC East, there's some guys who go out and get the football. And then I think up front, they're looking for a bigger year from Fletcher Cox. He's their bell cow on defense, a defensive tackle, defensive end. They need to have that all-pro season from him again in 2017.
First down, Winston. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
The tight end, Cameron Brate, was the target. And it's second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Play fake to Martin. Now Jameis. Bringing it in. Jackson left side. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. First down. Here's the run with Martin. And now loose football. Fumble. Martin lost it.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Doug Martin taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Bucs have taken a first quarter lead. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
If they open things up, let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. On the defensive side of the football for the Bucs, here's the lineup. You look at last year. 2016, 23 points a game, right in the middle of the league, but improved, I think. How do they look going forward?
Well, they did improve, and they improved throughout the second half of the year. They focused on communication. They cut down some of the stuff they were doing defensively, made it simpler, and they played a lot faster. And look, Gerald McCoy is a terrific player on the defensive line. You got linebackers that can run in Levante David and Quan Alexander. And I thought that Keith Tandy really emerged as a safety for them down the stretch and made some big-time plays.
And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a third down. 3rd and 4.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
And he connects with Ertz. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
See if they stay on the ground for second down. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. On second down, Ryan Matthews. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Now Ryan Matthews on 3rd down. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. And the offense readies for play number 10 of this series.
And the tackle's made there by one of the secondary members. And I can guarantee you, having played that spot in the huddle right now or on the field,
and he will take this one in for an Eagle touchdown. Ryan Matthews, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Eagles are now just an extra point away from grabbing the lead. And he's got it up and through. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So the ball switches back over to Tampa Bay, and as they get set in place on offense, Charles, talk about the running game and the O-line, where they stack up going into next year, because Doug Martin was only active for 8 games this last season. Rushing total dropped down to 400 yards, basically.
Yeah, they were fortunate they picked up Jaquiz Rogers during the year, and he gave them some nice games throughout, but I start with the offensive line. They've got some good building blocks. Left tackle Donovan Smith, guard Ali Marpet. Great places to begin. I think they'll continue to try and fortify that offensive line because that will help whoever becomes their primary ball carrier.
Second down following the run. Now a play fake to Martin. Here's Winston. And he'll just chuck this one up into row G. It's incomplete. They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
Trying to lay one up deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The target that time was Vincent Jackson. And it's 4th and 4. On 4th down, the Bucs will call on Anger. Brian Anger to punt it away. Back deep is Darren Sproles. This is taken around the 12. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Eagles take possession. And Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. And that last drive, it was all about the ground game, ground and pound.
And I don't care how we're playing the game these days, offensive linemen still want to fire out and smack the guy opposite them and move the football on the ground. They feel better about that. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to play, and that's how they got it done.
Yeah, and they got it for a touchdown last drive. Let's see what happens here. Wentz going to throw, and the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Whenever I see an in-route dropped, as we just saw on that play, I'm always thinking that in the back of their mind, they're worried about what's coming at them because they're going towards traffic on that route as opposed to being away from it and maybe having a little bit more space.
Throwing now is Wentz. Trying for the tight end. Ertz, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Brent Grimes. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. So out come the Bucs now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
They pitch it out to Martin. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster. It all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th.
Usually the offense has an answer to anything a defense throws at them, including a safety valve. And that's what they did on that play. They went there, but the defense still made an excellent play and held them to no gain.
And Aguayo's kick is good. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us wanted to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And his throw here's incomplete. The veteran Brent Selleck, the one he was looking for. And it's third down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Wentz. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, fourth down. Here's Donnie Jones now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone.
There goes Doug Martin. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Doug Martin with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Bucs get the quick strike touchdown. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball. At least
this is caught inside the 15. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can...
And Matthews has got it. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Matthews there to make the grab. And the Eagles are back within a score. And it's good. It cuts it to 2. 16-14 our score. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Again, it's Martin. And he's got Rome. Cutback left side. There goes Doug Martin. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Doug Martin on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Bucs get the quick strike touchdown. And his kick is good. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Game clock sitting at 2:02, so they'll get one play before the 2-minute warning.
Here
They begin the drive with Ryan Matthews. And he finds some space past the 25 to the 27. A minute 59 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. To throw, it's Wentz. And that's incomplete. Jordan Matthews, the one he was looking for. And it's third down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Now Wentz. Aguilar has it. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
Here we go now.
Wentz to throw again. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is caught inside the 5. A big play that time. Wentz to Matthews. 57 yards. And the defense with their backs against the wall a little bit here as the offense is in the red zone.
Here we go now.
Again, they'll throw with Wentz. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Zach Ertz from 3 yards out. And the Eagles have cut it back within a score. And the lead is down to 2. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. And now the Buccaneers offense gets set to head back onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
They start the drive with Martin. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Connor Barwin in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense. 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Jameis to throw it. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now Sproles. A good return there, 17 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 40. And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ballgame.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
Here's Martin, and he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
One man in the backfield, that's Martin. And he'll get it up the middle. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Second down, Martin. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Oftentimes when a guy has a game like this, he's going to take his offensive line out to dinner afterwards. But after a play like that, he may tell him, instead of getting the steaks, guys, we might have to go for the hot dogs.
On third down, Winston. A dump off to Sims. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down just outside of the 30. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Martin cuts right. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve.
Here we go now.
Now Wentz throwing on second down. Buying time to his left. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Clinton McDonald able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss.
Now let's go.
Now Wentz on third down. A dump off to Sproles. A pickup of 11, and it moves the chains.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing on first is Wentz, surveying the field. Now he's forced out left. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete. All right, different topic here. 2018, the Super Bowl. Traveling north, far north to Minneapolis. Early predictions for that one. Who you got?
Well, you know, everyone's still waiting in the NFL for a home team to play in its home stadium, right? So could the Vikings be that team? I'll start in the NFC, and I'm going to say no. I think Seattle, starting to get near that maybe last run with their defense. Earl Thomas returns. I like Seattle coming out of the NFC. How about you?
Well, I'm actually going to take a Dallas Cowboys NFC title run. I think that they came so close this year, probably most talented going into next year.
I like that one. Well, in the AFC, I'm going to go with a team that if they improve their defense and their quarterback stays healthy, they could be that team, the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, I'm going dark horse. Cleveland Browns. Let's go.
Hey, from worst to first.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks, so you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker, and on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle. And coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And he's going to be stopped at about the 37. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on.
No matter how you evaluate quarterbacks, at some point arm strength is going to come into the conversation. I'm really impressed by what I saw on that throw on the out route.
And he's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18. In the red zone this time.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. A long drive here. Play 12 coming up for the offense. On first down, Wentz. That's complete right around the 8. It's a nice pickup at 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
They'll try to run it now with Sproles. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Gerald McCoy is so slippery and elusive in the interior of the defense. I don't care who has the assignment to block him. It usually ends up having to take at least 2. And most of the time, that's not enough either. Witness that tackle for a loss.
From the 2-yard line yet again. Let's see what they can do on 3rd and goal. Now Wentz. And this is Ertz with it, right side. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And Sturgis able to knock it through, and that'll move him back within 6 now. All right, so you needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal then maybe not exactly what they wanted, but it's a necessary first step.
Still plenty of time remaining, but you could really use a stop defensively after the kickoff, preferably a 3 and out.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. 10 yards on the pickup there. And that'll be good enough for a Tampa Bay first down.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball this successfully in the 4th quarter, they're really excited because you can plan for a running game all you want and want to press that advantage when you get it. But for the most part, it's a little bit of a surprise. And right now, they've got to keep that going, want to continue to grind out the clock because it's definitely in their favor at this stage of the game. Can they close the game out and continue to do exactly what we just saw there, and that's run the football?
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. One man in the backfield, that's Martin. And he'll get it up the middle. Oh, no, he lost the football. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Here's Wentz to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. William Golston able to get outside the numbers and drop him for a loss of a yard. Here's Donnie Jones now, as he's on to punt for Philadelphia. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive. One receiver to the left is Evans. Now a second down throw for Winston. Forced out to his left. And he'll slide down to avoid the contact. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Yeah, Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too. And you saw his legs, tree trunks sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
They'll try to throw now. Winston steps away to his left. And he'll just throw this one over in the way of the security crew. Incomplete here. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it. And he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, they gave it a shot. Quarterback sneak. Not able to get it.
No, but if you're going to call a QB sneak on 3rd down, you draw it up to get it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Maybe they were thinking 4-down territory.
That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They'll look to throw. Matthews the intended target, and it's 3rd down.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just dropped to a point and reacted to the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
And now they're in the hurry-up. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game. Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. He'll look to throw. Goes underneath for Sproles. They give him 15 more, and it's another first down. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
He's back to throw, and he will find his man on the outside. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them in bounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it. And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
He's got his man on the crossing route. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And this seemingly endless drive continues. Back to throw. And he connects with Ertz. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave him with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Watch it now, Barney. Here we go now.
Back to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked up by Keith Tandy. And the return will stop them well inside their own 20 at the 15-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. Only 1 timeout defensively, so this should just be a simple kneel down.
I agree totally. I looked at my time management chart. It says take a knee, victory formation. They just have 1 timeout left, and that should...
And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. It'll be their 3rd and final timeout, so as they talk things over, we'll step aside. Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They run it again with Martin. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
That was a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being moved.